Well, hi, I'm the Classic TV Reviewer. Today I'm here to talk about a show that ran from 1984 to 1991. That show is called Hunter, starring Fred Dryer and Stephanie Kramer. This show is so great. It's so awesome. Fred Dryer was a football player, and this was his first job. The network wanted to do a show like Dirty Harry, so Fred Dryer kind of has that resemblance to Clint Eastwood. He kind of looks like Clint Eastwood. That's why he was hired. But it's basically called, it's even said on the promos and everything, it's TV's answer to Dirty Harry. And this show, I used to watch as a kid constantly. I wanted to be a cop so bad. That never happened. Look what I'm doing now. But, you know, I've always, you know, just really loved this show. And I felt nobody's talking about it, so might as well talk about Hunter. The show always would begin as the intro with a gun coming to the camera and then coming in and shooting, and it would say Hunter. And then you would see Hunter running out. And, of course, you see Stephanie dressed like a prostitute, kicking. It was just a great show as an opening beginning. But this show was like Hunter had mob family. He was a mob. He came from a mob family. He became a police officer. And during the first season, they did that. That he had a mob you know, his family were in the mob, and they were supportive of him being a police officer, but they also kind of want him to look the other way sometimes. Well, by season 2, they decided not to do that anymore. Because in the first season, the ratings were not doing well. They had up against Dallas. So Hunter, when they moved it to Saturday nights, they basically they got Stephen Huggins, I think I'm saying it right, to really replace, you know, he said he just threw all that out. Basically, he just said, pretty much if you watch season 1 and season 2, the rest of the seasons, there's really not much in common. Hunter liked chili dogs in season 1. Well, that's gone. Basically, they kind of formed more of a friendship, almost a brother and sister with him and McCall. And during season 2, they did one episode that was so groundbreaking called Rape and Revenge. This was an episode that it showed even the strongest woman could be raped. It was just one that got to you. I mean, it shows you what terrible things a person goes through when something like this happens to them. And even though she was a police officer, this guy overpowered her. There's nothing she could do. And it's basically Hunter pissed at this guy. This guy's got diplomatic immunity, and he wants to kill this guy. And in the episode, he couldn't do it. And it turned out the guy was going to shoot him from behind, and Hunter shot him. It's considered to be the most watched Hunter episode ever, and it's probably the one I would say anyone should see, because if you see one Hunter episode, this is the one to see, because I think it really shows that part of a person going through something so traumatic. And, you know, even, like I said, even the strongest of us cannot, something bad can always happen to the strongest of us. But season 2 really took a different change. They had Bruce Davison, which was in the remake of Knight Rider. And the show basically, in season 2, introduced us to a new character, their Huggy Bear, Sporty James. Sporty James was played by Garrett Morrison, which any of you young kids won't know, but he'd been on Martin. He was mostly famous for Saturday Night Live back in the 70s during the original cast. He played this character, and he was just so much fun. He wore, you know, a really nice fedora, and he didn't want no money or nothing. He just wanted to make his neighborhood a better place to live for future generations. That's what Sporty wanted. Sporty remained through season 4. By the time they brought him back, it was in season 6, I believe. And, of course, he's taking money now. He hadn't been around, and he was just guest starring. He wasn't really that major of a character anymore. But by that point, with Sporty, you know, I really wish he'd have stayed in more, because I love that character. He was so much fun to watch. I mean, Garrett Morrison's great at anything. From what I understood what the cast said, he was funny no matter what. They say, oh, the show's always serious, but he was always making them laugh offset. Season 3, you know, they did different things. The intro never stayed the same. That's one thing, you know, you gotta know if you ever see the show. But basically, season 3 really, you know, they did an episode where McCall wanted to adopt a baby, and of course she didn't. They found the mother wanted to keep it. There was just all these other, you know, stories. Season 4 is the one that I really want to talk about, because season 4 was where Hunter and McCall, okay, you ready for this? They solved the Black Dahlia case. Yes. It turns out the guy that was a Black Dahlia, he's in a rich family. And Hunter and McCall are on a cold case. And this was on the anniversary of the murder. And so basically in the episode, Hunter and McCall are sent in looking, and this guy sees McCall that's the actual murderer, and it reminds him of the girl he murdered. And of course he tries to kill McCall. And the guy goes to prison and all that, you know. But it was kind of groundbreaking for that time. You know, I mean, they're actually solving a real case. And of course in that episode they say, yeah, if you have any information, you know, call about the Black Dahlia. But you know, season 4 was a pretty good season. Season 5 was a really good one. We're kind of seeing a little more dark. We find out, you know, all these different things about Hunter and McCall. That, you know, Hunter had a relationship with another woman prior, and how it just doesn't work for either one of them. You know, how McCall, you know, celebrates her husband's murder's anniversary. Yeah, I forgot to bring that up. But the show, if I really can say, it just had a lot really going for it. Season 6 was the last season that I even want to really talk about, but I will talk about season 7. God, I need a drink. And I'm not talking about alcohol. Basically, season 6 does an episode called Unfinished Business, which I freaking hate. It's an episode where Hunter is over McCall's house. It's on the anniversary of her husband's death. And they end up having sex with each other. I hated that because they had such a brother-sister type relationship. Why? It just comes out of nowhere. In this episode, they show, oh, McCall's jealous, and they're acting both kind of strange toward each other. But why? And then you find out, oh, they had sex one night. Really? Why? You know, I think it was just a boost in ratings. And finally, they go to a psychiatrist, and they basically kind of work it out. And, of course, in the episode, they catch a bad guy. But I really didn't like that episode. And I've said my hatred for that episode for quite some time because I felt it didn't need to go that way. I have female friends. You can be friends with a woman and nothing like that happening. So producers, take a lesson from that. Don't, you know, male and females can be friends without having sex. But season 6 was really should have been the series finale. Was McCall meets a guy that she had been on and off dating. He comes back into her life. And, you know, of course, they had sex and they did all this, you know, had this relationship. And he wants to marry her. At one point, he's cool with her being a cop. He turns down his job in England. And ended up, the whole episode, which was really, really a great, it's called, you know, it was a 2-parter. They show Hunter going back to being a beat cop. It was something he had to do every year. And really me telling you this, you need to see this episode. I mean, but ends up, her boyfriend's not cool with her being a cop. He really, so he comes with this idea, why doesn't she come back with him to England? So Hunter needs her on a case, and he brings her on this case. You know, interrupts them when they're together talking about this. And ends up, McCall decides to leave the force and go with this guy to England. The show, what this should have been the series finale of the show, was McCall gets married, and at the end she throws a bouquet, and Hunter catches it. And basically she goes off, and with her husband. I can't remember the actor's name at this point, the character's name or actor's name. And it ends up, their captain said, well, this is the end of an era. And Hunter goes, no, this is the beginning of a new era. I mean, it's just been a perfect finale. You know Hunter's going to be in LA. She's going to be living happily ever after in England. The damn idiots at NBC said, no, we can't do that. The show did really well. So they bring it back for a 7th season. And that 7th season is the worst season of Hunter ever. It doesn't have that same feel. McCall's gone. They give him a new partner called Malinsky. She's kind of interesting. I mean, once you start to kind of get to where you like her, they kill her off. Because her and Fred Dryer, from what I understand, had creative differences. So that was into that. They bring in that actress from The Nanny that plays Cece, Babcock. She was his next partner, and it turns out her and Hunter had a relationship prior. And she left to be with her husband. And of course, there's this whole love triangle thing with her and Hunter. With her husband, her ex-husband. They do that, and they were not very good written episodes. Hunter's not a homicide detective anymore. He's in Metro. Him and his captain. His captain says, oh, Hunter, I have to leave because I need to change. I need you to come, Hunter, because you're my best man, Hunter. I mean, it doesn't work that way. People stay in homicide for many, many years. They retire there. Not realistically NBC if you're trying to make it a really gritty, show. The shows really had the finale was nothing. Just a normal episode. There's really not much to talk about this season. It's bad. I really watched all of season 7 just recently, and I hated it. But this would not be the end of Hunter. Hunter would return in a TV movie in 1991 without Stephanie Kramer because she was pregnant. But they did have the actor that played his captain in it. And basically the plot was Hunter's fiancée was murdered and he's going to get the guy. That's basically what I can say about it. There was another one in 2003 with Stephanie Kramer, which this one was good. Where he's going to visit McCall, and they're talking about old times, and he ends up helping her solve a case. At the end of the episode, the end of the movie, they left it off for another one, and they made us another one where this guy's coming, from Los Angeles to San Diego, wanting to kill Hunter. He says, this is old business I have. And there's really not much to say about this TV movie. It's pretty good. It's something you have to see. And there was a Revival Hunter TV series in 2003. The Revival TV series, which I liked. It was great seeing Fred Dryer and Stephanie Kramer again together. But it just, didn't take. I heard it was because of the timing. They had it on 8 o'clock at night on a Saturday night. I heard it was in different time zones in different places. So it really was only on for what I believe was 5 episodes. Which was a damn shame, because it was a good show. I liked it. It was like a continuation of Hunter from... This is what, to me, should have happened with the original show. Instead of the season 7, just throw season 7 out and put that one in. But overall, out of season 7, I say skip season 7. See 1 through 5, and if you can't see the Revival series, check it out if you can. This show is awesome, and you should see it. Trust me, I know what I'm reviewing.